So, this is mostly for me and not necessarily you guys. Another time capsule. Yeah. Maybe we can one day look back on this and just smile at what absolute shit this year has been. Because this video is going to be very depressing. There's going to be warnings out the wazoo at the front. That's what I'm planning for at this point. Because 2023 has been probably one of the worst years of my life. So, where are we leaving off? In July, B13 completely blew up in my face. Because... oh god, so what even happened? There's been so much. I have to, think about it. Believe they started talking more and more about completely shutting down and not doing this anymore. Going back to a hobby company. We're not even going to try to keep ourselves up. Just doing this casually, essentially, despite the fact that we only generate sweat equity and we don't actually get paid in the moment because we're all share owners. So I get paid in shares, and when those are worth something, I'll get paid finally. We're gonna just tank the entire thing. You know? Everything that we've spent years trying to build. Because it ain't working. So, and that was mostly because the cannabis project failed miserably in June. So, this was after they decided they were going to go all in, the owners. Let's see. Oh, roommate things. Yeah, the roommate, it's kind of enraging at times. And back in July, I get that she's not a bad person and she's proactive about getting away from us and having her own space, but just some of the stuff that she does frustrates me, chores-wise. It's when she does help with chores, it doesn't feel good enough, so I just have to redo everything, which is twice the work. So it's not really helpful. And it's still like that. Just different now. Oh yeah, worried about how... I forgot that Grandma went back into hospital. My grandma went back into the hospital for the same thing that she was in there before, so it was a recurring thing. Oh yeah, and the roommate, because she can't drive, and at the time I couldn't drive, I decided to help her with some quick grocery shopping. And so we walked through town, and the trousers I was wearing had a hole in the middle, and I got a really bad abrasion between my legs and couldn't walk for several days. Because I had basically rubbed all the skin off from walking around town. 4 miles with holy pants, oh geez. Chaos Day seems so far away now that it's hard to remember exactly what happened. I'm sure there'll be a journal entry that I read that talks about it. In summary, we basically drove around a town all day because we were given bad instructions and weren't exactly told what to do. Mom trusted Dad to do something and he failed miserably. He tries, but he's not exactly the best with instructions in terms of doing what she tells him to do. And I am usually the one who has to be responsible for both of them. But she didn't give me the instructions. So this was great. And there was a lot of anxiety, and I remember having a panic attack by the end because I just couldn't handle anything anymore. Because everything was so overwhelming. And yeah, just having severe depression and anxiety, mostly depression. Just can't handle life anymore because life feels like it's blowing up around you. I feel like I'm shutting everyone out right now, and I know I have been unintentionally for months. This seems to happen so often. Much like Z, either everyone leaves me or I leave them in some way. I step back until I quietly disappear after having close relationships, and I've never been certain why people leave or why I do this to myself. I get that I'm the problem, so they leave. But honestly, this year has been so shit, I think the depression makes me feel so hopeless. Combine that with the feeling that everything feels like it's crumbling down around me, and I just feel so alone and like I want to give up my own autonomy and just comply with the people who tell me what to do. Fuck this rebellious phase. What was the point? Yesterday, going out, it felt nice. But as I explained to the roomie who took me out, I felt like it wasn't me. Like my body was just going and I was dreaming or taking a back seat. That it wasn't even happening to me. I'd wake up and be back home, miserable, upset, and done with life. Because I'm used to that feeling. At this point, I want to get out of the house. I have the desire to. I don't know entirely what's stopping me anymore. So Ellen invited me to a thing on Saturday, and I turned her down because I'm in pain thanks to the stupid sore I got yesterday. I feel wiped right now as I write this. I sent Ellen that message because I feel like shit about everything. And receiving the words, "We'll stop bugging you," makes me feel like they're giving up on me too. To be fair, how much do you want to stick around someone who constantly turns down your offers to hang out or meet up for seemingly no reason? I guess I can be okay with people giving up on me. After all, giving up is the right thing to do with someone who ceases to be part of your life. The depression is probably really bad right now because Grandma's in the hospital and she got out a week later. I need to finish Mom's candle spell. Even though I've been told by other pagans in the house that it's her job, not feeding the Fae is wrecking my life, and she put the responsibility on me. I gotta finish that tonight. I hope it doesn't screw us more. So I just finished Gandalf and Ellen's video, and they talked about cutting out toxic people and ruined friendships. They mentioned briefly that they can't dwell on people being toxic and you have to let go. I hope they don't give up on me, and yet my brain keeps telling me I just have to be alone. I'm shut away in my house, and I can't do anything. I'm banned from even speaking to Gandalf and Ellen about anything that goes on under this roof. Mom said so due to drama.
I'd appreciate it if you never spoke to Gandalf and Ellen about our personal shit, at least my personal shit. You can talk to these other people because they know how to keep their mouths shut.
Part of me wonders if I'm the problem. I'm causing rifts by being honest and speaking out and telling the truth because Mom won't stop beating around the bush and treating everything like a non-issue or never taking anything to the people she should. Stop talking about people behind their backs if you don't like others doing that to you. Rob said I'm not the problem. But I feel like I am, because I'm talking to these people for her and being a middle person. Because everyone makes me the middle person, or I volunteer myself. It annoys me, but I do it to myself because I'm tired of hearing about it and just want other people to stop being high schoolers and talk to each other. I guess that's so wrong. Gandalf and Ellen aren't shutting down the business, though. We don't want to. They're going to keep it going, which helped pick me up. I don't feel like anything's going to go anywhere for me, though. I'm doomed and isolated. It's fine, I guess. Nothing ever moves forward for me. I gotta find a way to move on. Get out of this limbo. On the downside, my phone has a huge crack in the back of the case. I put some scotch tape on it, but it's not gonna hold. Also, my down volume button doesn't work, and the battery keeps dying at 50% or so. To my brick, it stays attached. Also, I feel embarrassed about the pad in my pants. It's down one side of my leg for that abrasion on my thigh, so it doesn't weep or bleed and get stuck to me. I feel like everyone can see it, I managed to hide it in Walmart, but I still feel so wrong and gross, like I'm being judged. I'm gonna try to edit Gandalf and Ellen's piece to start helping me move on. Then I gotta record Dad and I's lines by this weekend so Gandalf can put together the podcast and such. I should try to write my vampire story. I have my own team birthday event with a friend I have to write into that. So much awkwardness. I also need to write The Orphan, but I feel kinda stuck. I should reread and try to get it to happen. Maybe I'll take a walk next week if I'm better. Take my notebooks, a pencil, some lead, sunscreen, water, and my camera because I need to be free to make art. I'll stop by the park, get some chilling in. I've been wanting to. I feel too stuck, I guess, to do it, but I feel too trapped to want to stay. Plus, leaving is a hassle. Usually comes with the afterwards interrogation. What spurred on you going outside? Were you safe? Did you take your keys, phone, mace, bike chain, key ring? Did you know these wild animals were within 10 miles? Do you know how to defend yourself? What did you do at the park? What photos did you take? What did you write about? Why did you need to go to the park for that? Right. That's why I don't leave the house. I want to go outside. Also, walking on the local highway. I need headphones. Can't stand people honking or revving or any of it. Very unpleasant. 0 stars out of none. Update, fed the Fae. I hope things get better soon. Today was Chaos Day. We first had to make a trip to Verizon to pick up our phones. My phone was basically exploding and the case was slowly being abused into its own collapse. We went wrong from the first step. Without any instructions and without any information other than it's in a locker, we were off to Frederick to pick up the new phones. I plug in the address for the nearest Verizon and go. We arrive without a hitch and we walk in. The dude at one of the desks tells us to wait for service and that the location has no lockers. We begin spam texting and calling Mom, who doesn't answer because her phone was dying and she was upstairs as far away as possible from her device. So we're seated with the guy. And he tells us that not only are there no orders at their location for in-store pickup, but there's also 3 Verizon locations in the area. Great. Of course, this isn't his fault. Honestly, my anxiety, which was running high from the moment we entered the store and was only exacerbated by the old lady who was on her way out trying to chat us up to help, new people terrify me, was subsiding the more we learned and tried to fix the situation. The more he explained what went wrong and how he could try to fix it by canceling the order at the location and moving us over to the store we were already at calmed me. Dude was awesome. Then Mom called us back. She explained to the worker that she would rather us go to the correct location and not purchase them from this one. She didn't say this to his face, but she knows they're a bad location that sells used phones as if they're new, and it wasn't a good place. Here's the 3 problems. Mom didn't text us an address or send pictures of the directions so we could arrive at the correct place. She did tell Dad verbally where to go, and he promptly forgot and had me plug in Verizon Frederick into Google, which clearly didn't work. He also didn't announce we're leaving to clear up any misunderstandings or get better instructions. I also didn't ask because I was being rushed out the door and scarfing my food quickly to make up for lost time as I got dressed after I got my shower. Blame all around, but oh boy, this was fun. So we were held hostage on the phone begging for directions. Turns out our phones don't like it when you try to toggle the data as you're on advanced calling mode, which I've never figured out how to turn off. I explained it 3 times, and her solution was to remove the restrictions on our data usage. I tried to explain that I still couldn't turn it on, but that did nothing. She hung up after that, and I could use GPS instead of reading screenshotted instructions from her. Thank the gods. We arrived, hearts pounding and enraged at the Verizon. They had lockers. We walked over, and Dad punched in Mom's number to the locker. Helpful. He then canceled it, the machine black-screened, we had to call the dude over to reset it, and we just used Dad's number. We got the phones. I felt like a little thief because of my anxiety, and we marched off with the phones. And Dad went hunting for the first time that trip, which bothered me because him picking used cigarettes off the ground because he's not allowed to buy them is embarrassing and disgusting for me. We then left for the next batch of chores. We got lost going to the Lowe's. I missed a turn as GPS and wasn't paying attention, so we had to make 1 U-turn and go there correctly. We arrived, needed a board cut, and struggled to find help. After we found help, I felt bad that I couldn't explain what 11175 meant dude thought I meant 11 1/4. I'm sorry, I can only spit numbers under by panic because he was attractive and I look like a potato. I know he's there to do his job and not be attractive, but like, yeah, why do people have to look so good? And I looked like I rolled out of bed because I'm lazy. We managed to find a board. One of the helper dude's coworkers was blowing bubbles at him in secret. It was funny because every time I looked at him, he just silently shushed me about it. I couldn't stop giggling. I felt more positive after this experience, honestly, because that was fun. Got the board cut, shoved it in the card with difficulty. I didn't trust Dad to drive down the highway with his glass window open in the back, and the board wasn't strapped in or down or anything. There was a lot of messing about. So we got in the car and found we both had missed calls from Mom. Turns out that anything else we need isn't a specific enough text to not make her panic. We updated her that we were at Lowe's, we got the board, we didn't think that the little 1-foot square was good enough to keep, and we went home. Now, directions would have gone well if Mom wasn't trying to make me do directions and give her the proper email at the same time. We had to make a series of loop-de-loops on the interstate to get back home. So we got in the car and found we both had missed calls from Mom. Turns out that anything else we need isn't a specific enough text to not make her panic. We updated her that we were at Lowe's, we got the board, we didn't think that the little 1-foot square was good enough to keep, and we went home. Now, directions would have gone well if Mom wasn't trying to make me do the directions and give her the proper email at the same time. We had to make a series of loop-de-loops on the interstate to get back to the highway we needed to be on because we missed a turn. We drove home, airing our complaints about everything that happened, and deposited the board so we could go food shopping. We ran around Walmart, had a last-minute request for s'mores supplies, got chips and phone cases to bite us until the real cases came in, and left without a hitch. We went to shop at the local Wise because we had membership points to burn. Sprinting around the store, even though we didn't need to, this is just how Dad walks, we rushed to grab food stuff. We get to the ice cream that we can buy with points for free, and a couple, who doesn't work there based on their clothes, is standing in the aisle. As I pull the case open to browse the ice cream and make a selection, without looking at the options because I know where and which one my mom particularly wants, the couple then starts randomly chatting to us about how their daughter got her wisdom teeth out and needs fudge swirl ice cream, and how the flavor shouldn't be a big deal. Haha. Mind you, I haven't closed the case because I've been holding it open to turn back to as these people distract us. I then turn back into the case and stare into it for 1 second, trying to make a decision quickly. The guy, after 1 second, comes up behind me and without warning starts talking to me from behind. Dude's practically whispering in my ear. See what's happening to the two cases on this side? He points out as the cases have fogged up since I've been holding the door open. Now people can't see what's in the other cases because you've been holding the door open. I'd explain the science, but I don't fully understand it. You try to explain science. The wife, who has walked down to the other end of the aisle to try and get away from the situation, chides. My anxiety spikes, I shut the door, and I refuse to touch another case or make a choice since someone has told me what a terrible person I am for being a customer. In hindsight, I should have just ignored him or something, or closed the case while they talked, but I didn't. Also, I thought Dad would have made a choice by now, but these people kept interrupting while they were there and talking, so we couldn't make a choice. Then Mom called because we asked her to pick a backup flavor because they didn't have hers. We asked her if she wanted anything to decorate the plain chocolate ice cream. She asked us for cones and then said, "Really?" when I sent her a picture to choose from. Far be it from me to give her the ability to make the choice she wants. She keeps talking to us while we try to check out, and Dad picks a self-scan near the customer service desk. This normally isn't a problem, but my brain is panicking still because of the freaking Carl from the ice cream aisle. I'm also being overloaded with anxiety as the customer service desk is noisy with employees. That's not their fault. The manager was talking with two people, and that's fine. The self-scan is loud, and Mom's talking to me. The breaking point for my brain was Dad scanning things and then changing his mind about using the self-scan because you have to use a person to use points. Not true. I just think he doesn't know how to do it. I went silent. I couldn't even think. Everything was so noisy and loud and overwhelming, and Mom was asking me to make decisions and choices, and I just gave up. Then she hung up because no one would talk to her, and like a fish out of water, I just blubbed in confusion. I stayed silent and panicked. She's pissed. She's mad. We didn't talk to her. She's going to be so angry when we get home. I was trying to talk, but I'm so overwhelmed from everything happening around me, and now I have to prepare for dealing with a cashier. We got past the cashier, who was probably tired, but I felt like she was judging me as I didn't do anything out of fear and panic to help, and just told Dad to load the cart and do things while I hid behind him. Then Dad went hunting again. With heavy groceries in hand, no, we didn't use the cart. We rushed up and down the center to look for used cigarettes for him to smoke. This jacked up my anxiety to almost a meltdown as I ranted to him about everything going on in my head, and this excursion wasn't helping because I felt the judgment and my arms were hurting from carrying stuff. Dad drove us home and we continued ranting about the things that happened on the drive. It made me feel a bit better, but my brain still struggled to cope. We got home, and of course, he didn't help me put the groceries away. He left to go put his new phone together and play on the computer. I was left to do it alone, as usual. This normally isn't a big deal, but on this day, where I'm already overwhelmed this time, the fridge felt like chaos fridge. The salad wouldn't go where I need it to, because the drawer was full of food we can't eat. Mom bought a whole head of cabbage to bait the groundhogs we have yet to deal with, and no one eats the apples. The milk couldn't go on the top shelf because there was a partial gallon in the door and there was already stuff in the place we usually put the milk. Nothing was as it needed to be. Needless to say, I dragged Dad back from the next room and made him fix the problem because I literally couldn't breathe. My lungs stopped expanding, I was taking short breaths, and I couldn't get the air to reach the bottom of my lungs. Everything was fine in the end, but it wasn't in my head for the duration of the day. I will also say this day was a very crabby day. I can't explain it. I had some nightmares, and one was super awesome. I need to recall it and write it down. But scary, and I was very crabby and angry all day. I got frustrated that the new roommate was misplacing everything. I never properly explained to her where things go, and it's barely been 1 month. And this trip just made me angrier and more overwhelmed. I've apologized multiple times for being an asshole, as I'm not quite sure if I have been one today or not. I feel guilty and angry and overwhelmed. I also apologize to Rob for taking it out on him at the end of the chaos. He messaged me about that his laptop cannot be fixed, so he'll have to operate on his desktop from now on, and I just couldn't hold back. Not that I should talk about them. They're not really worth mentioning. At what point am I the problem? I will always default to I'm the problem even if I don't understand how or why. There's always a reason to blame me in the end and keep doing it. I'll always find a way to trace it back to me. Still can't tell if I'm the problem or not. Ellen asked me to cancel the meeting tonight, which I was looking forward to for whatever reason, and I did. I went back to bed after being so tired from Chaos Day and yesterday's swimming, followed by a social dinner meeting new person. I didn't message the other meeting people, and I know I should have, but I just passed back out after responding and went to bed. I thought of doing that when I woke up, but I just went and made food instead. Later, I received a text saying that someone was confused about the meeting being canceled because I didn't send a message, so Gandalf and Ellen texted them for me. Something about the language made me feel attacked because it was a complete mess up on my part that I didn't text them immediately. They asked me if I got sick too, but I said no, I'm just tired. I'm the problem, and I'm always the problem. Not that I can talk about it. I probably shouldn't say I went and did a whole bunch of stuff because I already told them that I'm supposed to be resting even though my abrasion healed. I'm a liar if I did tell them stuff, and then it looks like excuses to skip something I didn't. If I didn't. But then I look shady if I don't tell them, and I don't think I can because, again, I'm banned from speaking about my personal life to them because when you say jump, they take to skydiving from the top of the atmosphere without knowing what's at the bottom. Then Dad dumps cat litter while I'm making food into the trash can in the kitchen. I'm cooking a fried egg and custom-seasoned ramen, just added turmeric, red pepper, ginger, garlic, and curry powder, with carrots and cheese, and he comes over and dumps out the cat box. I get that it needs to be cleaned, but warn me first? I had to spring into action and cover my food quickly, but after he left for work and took the bag with him, for once, Mom came over. I told her, and she practically spit her water, pushed all the dishes on the counter into the sink, told me the clean ones need to be rewashed completely. Thinking on it, he gets no consequences, because he'll get slammy and angry in silence, and that won't keep him around. I'll just wash the dishes, I guess. Gotta clean up this mess. I'm sleepy now, but I feel like if I had told him to leave, or do something else, or change something, we wouldn't feel disgusted, and I wouldn't have to re-clean. I'm the problem. I'm always the problem. Also, my phone didn't remotely transfer overnight the previous night, which stressed me out since yesterday was GC finals for Sinnoh. I had to panic after 8 hours and try to force it, which took less time than doing over Wi-Fi, which Mom disagreed with me, plugging the 2 phones in since it should have worked over Wi-Fi. I feel like Sayori. I'm just waiting for Monica to finish the job. I'm probably doing this to myself. Everything feels like 1,000 tiny needles stabbing my heart, creating upset and outbursts in my brain. Sinnoh Guild leader treats me like garbage. I'm the worst player, I have the worst stuff. Why do we keep you around? You're worthless, and why do you still play? It makes me want to quit more and more. It makes me angry. It makes me upset. He silently replaces me and never tells me, so I go from another body to nobody without warning. These people don't matter in the grand scheme of things. Why do you still hang out? They're not your friends. It matters to me. They're all buddies with each other, even if it feels like another job to them. They act friendly with me, except Shin. I've been here for forever, and they're all I have left. Mom tells me not to talk to others about anything, but these are the only people similar to my age who can stomach sending me a message for anything. I have nothing else. If I give this up, I'll truly be alone. I already feel like a waste of oxygen, so why should I care if I'm told how worthless I am? I keep reminding myself that if I were to disappear that it wouldn't matter, because I don't exist. I keep isolating more and more. Someone would tell me it's all my fault. I'm doing this to myself. It's my choice. I guess it is. It's always my fault. Everything. I should stop whining. Such a fucking snowflake.
Little heat and pressure and I just have a meltdown.
I need to shut it off. I just want to shut it all off. What's the point in feeling when it doesn't matter because people still remind you of everything you hate about yourself? I shouldn't bother to eat. Waste of food. At this point, I'm waiting for my relationships to blow up in my face. If only I hadn't told Ellen what Mom was saying when Ellen sent the text about them needing to talk. Then they wouldn't have known Mom saw them. Then they wouldn't have shown up at our front door to talk immediately. Then Gandalf wouldn't have sent an impulsive, confrontational message to Mom. Then their relationship wouldn't have felt like it was on the rocks. Then we wouldn't have any problems right now. Everything's my fault. It has to be. I wonder when all my relationships will fall apart because everyone around me hates me. I wonder why the ones I'm still clinging to have stuck around. I wonder how much longer they'll put up with a jerk like me. Can't be that much longer. My relationships don't last more than 7 years, usually. Surprised it's lasted this long, actually. Well, guess we had a good run. I think Mom and Ellen are healing their relationship slowly. I'm glad. I feel like I'm going crazy. A whole ginger root disappeared unless it looked moldy according to one person, and no one knows where it went. I should have just let Ellen use it because I didn't know how to use it and it went to waste. Whoop. Also, Mom never cleans the kitchen at all. The stove is clean and she was washing the rinsing, which she usually says is never okay because it's not immaculate. Her cleaning is disconcerting. Also, Mom never cleans the kitchen at all. The stove is clean, and she was washing the rinsing, which she usually says is never okay because it's not immaculate. Her cleaning is disconcerting. She puts stuff away, and it's annoying me. As far as I can see, I don't belong in the kitchen that no one else uses. I feel like people are trying to quietly push me out, and it's annoying. If I can't be in the kitchen, I can only be in my room again, and I don't like that idea. Then I really feel like a prisoner. It's upsetting. And I have no one to talk to about how angry I am constantly. And today, I'll have to come up with excuses for my extended family that I never meet as to why I'm still a NEET. Everyone yells at me to get my fucking license when I don't want to drive and no one will teach me. I don't know how much longer I can do this shit mentally. Everything feels like it would be better if I was dead, honestly. And she missed the point. I told her, tell me next time if you want to throw stuff away, because the ginger root went missing. I reminded her of when she thought we threw her stuff away and she got mad, but a moldy ginger root and 2 cactus leaves aren't the same. I don't deserve the same courtesy. Essentially, I'm the asshole here for asking the same respect. She missed the point, and now she says she's never going to clean again. It's not like she normally does anyway, so what's the difference? I don't feel like eating today. What's the point? I'll just make more things to go moldy and throw away. There's no point. Maybe tomorrow, I guess. No, I just want to self-harm because I'm such a piece of shit. You're talking behind my back. I don't belong in the kitchen. I'll just stay out. Fuck eating, fuck cooking, fuck cleaning. I'm the bad guy. And I know I'm and I know by saying that I'm the asshole for sure. I wish I was dead. I really do. It's not like anyone would miss me anyway. I figured out why them messing with the kitchen bothers me so much. It's the one space I get to control. Sure, I have a bedroom, but it's a public space. It's the AC for the back half of the house since we don't have central air. So I have to keep my door open with a fan in it to fan the back half of the house. Even if it was winter, people just barge in or pop their heads in or bother me whether the door's shut or not. I don't feel like I can close, especially not now. So I stay in the kitchen. It feels slightly more private and like it's my space because I'm usually the one in there, organizing, cleaning, cooking, and goofing off or working in there. But since the roommate showed up and Mom's been on vacation, everyone has been barging in on my space and fucking it up, and I'm supposed to be okay with it. I have no control over the area anymore. None. But that's a me problem. I'm the problem here. Always the problem. I'm the crazy one now. I feel crazy. I hate it. But there's no break. There's no stopping. I'm just angry, alone, and done. I scratched myself up and bit my arm. I don't feel better, but at least I got some rage out. And I cried some, but I had to put a lid on that. There's no time to cry. It's too much emotion for me. Gotta plan how I'll explain what a failure I am this time. Prepare for judgment that I didn't conform to everyone's wants and needs. I want to switch my brain off. Feels easier to do what everyone else is. Then I might be miserable, but no one would yell at me or tell me how worthless I am. They'd praise me for being so good again. Then they'd pay no attention to me again. Then it'd be okay again. I wish I didn't exist sometimes. So it's post-dread dinner. I almost cried because I was thinking about Grandpa. My one grandpa out in Texas has dementia, and I pity my grandmother who's taking care of him. Of course, because of family beef, Mom said she did it to herself, so it's her fault since she doesn't have to work. My argument was someone bringing up the 3 children taking care of my grandparents in this state, and I said that you need to worry about yourself too. After Smokey, no one should have to watch someone slowly die and stress about it 24/7. Mom just got pissy with me since I brought up Regina. I can't talk about Dad's family, ever. The other time was any time Grandpa got up. He always seemed so strong, and now he whimpers and cries because he's in pain getting up and walking. At least he can. Still sucks, though. I don't want to think about it. Apparently I'm displaying too much emotion, and I can't talk to Mom because she'd just send me into hospital to demand pills at my next visit to the doctor. No. Fudge! We forgot to do our voice lines last night! Then in August, we started hanging out more with Mom's family because they'd come up and she wanted to spend more time with people because Grandpa's birthday came up. And my uncle exploded. He lost his mind for a moment because we started talking about something that he didn't feel heard on. And that yell just, I felt like I got shot because it reminds me of some stuff that really has affected me. So when someone yells loud enough, I just shut down and start crying. And he's never done that before, so that was a new thing. Oh, in all caps, baby bun buns. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put pictures up of that. Because even though I'm sure a lot of you guys have probably seen the episode where I mentioned the baby bun buns, which was my birthday episode, I believe. I can't remember. But whatever episode of the gaming stuff that Dad and I do, you might see baby bun pics, and I'm gonna put them up somewhere on screen somewhere. I don't know. I'll have to figure it out later. So that was cute. That was a positive thing. They're next to our house. It was a great thing. Lots of doctor's appointments. We had a business scare. 'Cause someone basically threatened us, a former employee at this point, who had lied to us on his way out the door, essentially threatened us, which is fun. And he's still stalking the business, so that's even more fun. I have no idea what that note is because it's so minor in my brain that I can't even remember what it was. Conflicted from maybe plans? Oh, Mom probably planned something, and that means that I couldn't go to an event with people. Family thing. It must have been some kind of family thing. Yeah, because it was a bunch of visiting people and seeing people. My mental stability really went in the toilet because everything sends me into a rage fit in August. Everything sent me into a rage fit or made me want to harm myself because that's how we cope with everything. Inexplicable channel traction. So I noticed a lot more people were watching the stuff that I was putting out, and I have no idea why. I really don't. Which has significantly died down now. So I'm feeling a little sad about that, but you know what? We're not exactly like the most committed, if that makes sense. Like committed enough, but not worried about it right now. 'Cause we're not like all in. And I don't think we will ever be. This is a on the side thing, and that is probably for the best. So, if any of you are still here from like back then, hi. Nice to see you again. And anyone who's new, I mean, hey, there's plenty of stuff on this channel that isn't cripplingly depressing or talking about severe issues that may or may not need to be addressed. So there's plenty more other things that you could probably go watch that are not going to hurt your psyche, because this hurts mine enough. Oh yeah, parenting my parents. And so my mom likes to poke at my dad, take digs at him, stuff that's real personal. According to this note, she went off about his smoking and eating habits because he's a smoker and he has really bad diet. And so she likes to tell me, because she'll never say it to his face, about the fact that he will end up just like his dad, having some form of dementia or Alzheimer's, and I'll have to go through that one day. I mean, I can't blame her for thinking that, because my grandfather does have dementia. They don't live close to us, so it's a challenge. And we're not that close to them, to my grandparents or any of my dad's family, really. We never have been. So that's a thing. And essentially, I have to parent my parents to make them get along and be responsible adults. Which, that's not anything new for me. I had to basically tell her to stop, I think, is what I'm trying to say there. Oh yeah, and towards the end of the month, I started repairing my relationship with Gandalf and Ellen because I felt really bad. Because everything felt like it was collapsing in around me and my relationships were suffering. In terms of, I was told to keep my mouth shut. And after about 2 months, I couldn't take it anymore. being cut off from people and told to isolate myself, because talking to people who will mouth off and stand up for you is bad, according to one person in my life. So, because they actually act on anything that you say. To be fair, they tend to do this thing where if I say jump, they don't even ask how high, they just assume the worst and just go for it. So you say jump, they buy a ticket to go skydiving and remove the parachutes and just go for it. But at the same time, some things need to be said. I just wish it hadn't been the way that it had, which is not anybody's fault. Things were said and we can't take it back, but unfortunately that means that I'm not allowed to talk to people. Too bad. I did it anyway. Because I couldn't fucking take it anymore. I felt everything separating. I slept in 2-hour to 30-minute increments, yet I still dreamed. Well, I had a nightmare. I hit a kid on a bike at 50 miles an hour and panicked. Guess that fear of driving is creeping in. Also, I have to visit the grandparents again. Can't forget my ID or everyone will judge me for why I don't keep one on me. I feel like a waste of space. That's what I am. I do nothing. Who cares if I do the floors for her? Who cares if I do her laundry? Who cares if I cook her food and wash her damn dishes and serve it all to her on a silver platter? I do nothing. Mary does the dishes. No one did them before her. Not a single person. Someone does dishes more often than every 2 weeks with no help. Why can't I be like that? Why can't I be house bitch more effectively? I've been house bitch since I was 12. My adult toddler and adult teen don't help at all. But I do nothing. That's why the house is always awful. I'm also a liar. I didn't run the car. Must not have. It's died. That's my fault. Doesn't matter that Dad turned it on and watched me as he went to work. Doesn't matter that it was 20 minutes. Doesn't matter that I pumped the gas to get it to charge itself. I must not have run it. That's my fault. It died. So I lied. We're supposed to go shopping tomorrow. Mom changed her mind. Rather than actually go, she'll just order stuff and we go pick it up. Without talking to us. Asking us what we need. She's never in the kitchen. She'll buy for herself like it's for the house. I mean, she'll get more food than I or Dad. I'm cheap and Dad will only eat 3 things. But I'd like some control over the situation since I have to cook her food. I can't access the Walmart account to do anything anyway. The end. I wonder if she'll notice I did the floor in the kitchen today, washed myself, and did my laundry. Probably not. Though she already asked me when I flipped the dryer on if I ran it. Then she asked me what I washed, and I had no response when I said my sheets. I'm a waste of space. Nothing. I've done nothing with my life. Doesn't matter anyway. Why am I still here? I cope by throwing shit at the corner. Nothing destructive, just bagels or empty bottles or the dustpan. Just need to be violent for a minute. I hold my tongue. I don't rage out much because then someone will know something's wrong. But I needed to be angry. But that's nothing new. Being angry. I'm very angry. I feel like she's harassing the McDonald's worker. He made an oopsie and thought she had a mobile order, and when she asked what the name of the order was, it was hers. Her tone felt belligerent. I feel secondhand embarrassment through the phone. Ugh. Now she's accusing me of avoiding chores by going to the store. Wow. Relationship repaired. After talking with Gandalf and Ellen for 3 hours, we've discussed how we were feeling, and I told them about the things I shouldn't have. I feel less isolated now, lighter, and whole as a person. I feel better not having to cut things off. They offered to let me stay there for a bit if I need a break. I feel less stressed and angry, less suicidal or self-harming. I feel weak physically and tired, but also shy and a little guilty. I also feel free. More free. Less like a caged bird. I want to parody Maya Angelou's poem with racism to match with my caged situation. I also feel like that's unoriginal and wrong of me to do to such a beautiful piece. Only bad thing is that my wisdom tooth has been hurting me since yesterday, and it still hurts. I want to be free again. see the sunshine from outside the windows, smell the smoggy air, feel the grass beneath my feet, lean against the scratchy bark of a tree, have leaves or water drop onto my head, have fun without frights, stop fearing and start being out there, being somewhere else, being someone else who feels like me, being alive, being free. Oh yeah. Amidst the chaos in my brain, I randomly remembered that back in April, the radon fan broke. That's my next note that I've got. That was random. Oof. September. Sinnoh end. That's when we got the notice that my favorite mobile game was ending. Terminating service, I believe November. It was. Game completely gone. Time to move on with my life. I was inspired to make one of the shorts that's on my channel because of this. The other two I just made because why not? But I made one particularly because I heard an Emerson Brophy song and was like, I need to use that. One of my old friends tried to reach out to me and reconnect, and I'm too nervous to answer them. I cut off a lot of people to do B13 stuff, just solely focus on that. And as a result, I feel like I've hurt a lot of people. So I find it hard to want to reconnect with them because I feel like it's too late and there's a lot of damage done. And I don't have any good excuses. Sorry, I cut you off on accident because I got really busy with this thing that hasn't gone anywhere, so I have nothing to show for it. It was totally worth it. Yeah, totally worth it. Oh yeah, there was a really bad physical illness that I got. It wasn't COVID, but it was traumatizing enough. And I'm still coping with the emotions that came behind that illness. And there's still a lot of anxiety and recovery that needs to happen. I got back in touch with one of our B13 people because she finally came out of the very deep hole that she had to dig herself out of. She's come a long way since then, and I'm very happy for her. And we finally got working back on her story that we are slowly pacing our way through. A lot of things have moved forward in B13 since, like project-wise, and I'm really excited about this. So I had a blood test because they wanted to redo my bloods after that doctor's appointment, and it revealed that I am diabetic and my cholesterol numbers were out of whack, and that scared me in September. Well, they made a phone call and told me outright, you have diabetes, now come in and we'll talk about it. What's there to talk about? Honestly. But essentially, yeah. I'm still coping with that information. because all I'm thinking is I need to be less fat and trying to avoid having to be on pills because I shouldn't. I'm 22. I've already got birth control. I don't like pills. I really don't. I don't want to have to take more fucking pills. Bree wants to reconnect. I feel scared. I abandoned so many of my old friends because I was focused on making my dreams come true, and talking to others became tiresome. The guilt has been eating at me for doing so, and I feel nervous to talk to her over anything. I feel worse because I'm a failure, a disappointment, because I haven't accomplished anything. The sacrifice hasn't amounted to anything worthwhile, and my worthwhile relationships have been sacrificed for fruitless ventures. Everything around me is making me reconsider my life choices. Have I made the right choice? Do I really want happiness in doing what I love, or have I made a grave error by not choosing the beaten path where everyone wants me to be? With the end of Sinnoh ends the life I cultivated in my guild during the pandemic, a life I've grown to love. With a friend revisited comes a reminder of what I've given up to try and make myself a life. And with it comes the shame of failure, lagging behind my fellow generationers, and knowing I've made a big mistake that I never wanted to look back on. Why are my ghosts coming to haunt me? I need to give up. That's what I'm thinking. I failed, and now I have to pay. Finally getting the right treatment for my medical issues. I'll leave it at that, being as I don't want to remember this and how bad it was. Hopefully I can soon keep editing and writing as usual, as this has set me back immensely. I want sleep and less nausea. So October was my birthday. September was Dad's, and his went off perfectly fine. Everything was great. We had a great time. In October was my birthday, and that day I went to the doctors. They told me, "You have diabetes, now go fucking do something about it. I would love it if you could correct it with diet and exercise, but most likely you're insulin resistant and have to go on pills." The information was not that helpful, and all she told me was, "Go take this class. I'm going to say you have diabetes because your A1C is absolutely fucked and your blood sugar was really high for fasting. So you have 3 months to fix it, or we do pills." And that is the best day to say that to someone. For once, she didn't fucking tell me I'm fat, go do something about it, which is great. So there wasn't really a celebration. I hate my birthday. It's never really a good day. Bad shit always happens. And this one, I finally got what I really wanted, which was nothing. To be fair, people still gave me stuff, and there was cake, and I was forced to give a shit, but I really hate my birthday. This one did not make that thought any better. And 2 days after my birthday, my aunt decided that we are going to teach me how to drive. Because no one has bothered. Because my uncle is too busy, and frankly, he kind of makes me nervous now, so I don't want to go driving in his car. because I'm a little nervous. Of him, mostly. And my mom is a strong micromanager who I cannot stand to be in the car with. Because when I knew nothing, anytime I thought I was figuring something out, she would just tell me, no, you're wrong, do it this way, listen to me, just listen to me. I had no brain. There was no thinking. I can't do anything on my own. She has to be in control the entire time. And all I can think is, what happens when I'm on my own, driving by myself, and I have to do something. I'm never going to be able to do it on my own. Not a single time. So I really don't like driving with her. I still don't. Because she does the same thing, it's just a little less now. When we first started, there was a lot of screaming and her telling me that objects exist and I would start driving at them instead of just driving too close to them. Granted, I know parents have a lot of nerves. They're very nervous because there's a lot of things that come with the driving. In terms of, you're free and you can do things and I have to trust you to do the things without killing yourself suddenly. And it's really dangerous and people out there are stupid and will drive stupid and will probably try to kill you on accident. So we have to be very afraid, and it's a very nerve-wracking and emotional milestone, as all milestones are. But at the same time, if you cannot calm the fuck down, we are not getting anywhere. This is not constructive anymore. This is just torture. It doesn't work. Like, neither of us will get anything out of this. I will not learn independence in any way and figure out how to do the things. And you will just kind of exist with your pet child, which is essentially where I've been for so damn long. Let's see. Oh, yeah. The diabetes has really triggered my old eating disorder. Granted, I was never really diagnosed with an eating disorder by my therapist. I will stipulate that. But I was diagnosed with body dysmorphia, which is the lead-in for eating disorders. So, my solution to my bloods going up is panic starve, panic starve, panic starve. Be hungry, but ignore it, and try your damnedest to avoid food. In fact, when I first started, my first instinct was to eat nothing but chicken and salad in the form of one chicken breast and a fistful of plain lettuce once a day to cope. It is not healthy, that is not how you eat, and that is not at all conducive to making the sugar go down. It was going down, but it still makes me very upset inside, because I can't eat anything that I actually like. Nothing. As it's been phrased to me recently, we eat like we hate ourselves, and that's an accurate statement. I can't eat anything that makes me feel joy. I have to avoid all of it as much as I possibly can. God damn it, talking about food's making me hungry right now. This morning I did have half a muffin. God damn it, half a chocolate muffin, please. Which was a horrible choice, but then I ate some lunch meat and 2 apples. Somehow that's lasted me 4 hours. Huh. Weird. Wow, I'm such a waste of space. Being a homebody means no one will hire you. Why don't you have a job? You shouldn't get a job with us. We don't want someone who's been dedicated to the home. Your experience counts for nothing since it made 0. Mom, I need you to get a job to support yourself. Translation, get a job so you can be worth something to me, so my little failure can be a little sufferer like me too. Get a job to do anything for me. Step 1 of taking over my life, learning to drive so I can run her errands because she doesn't want to do it. I gotta get pet food tomorrow while I'm out. Ugh. Nobody wants a homebody, nobody piece of shit. My life has amounted to nothing for everyone. I'm nothing. I should just go work my ass off around the house right now and stop taking care of myself. No exercise, eat shit like mom, be gross and ugly and fat and worthless and have stupidly useless boobs with my jello grease fat sackness. Kill myself. I wouldn't be missed anyway. It'd be cheaper to die anyway. At least it's a one-time payment for a coffin rather than lifetime payments for food. I hate everything. Ooh, gender euphoria, cis-bro and them. In November, so I went for a walk and lost my ID. Thank you to the very nice person at the local butcher who found it. Seriously. I was panicking for like 3 or 4 days trying to find it because my strategy for the thing on the back of my phone that you will not get to see, really, my strategy, because I don't have a wallet, or didn't until recently, because that was a Christmas gift from the roommate, my strategy was to organize my pockets as I usually do, because I have 4 pockets. Despite having girl pants, I had 4 pockets this time. To put phone in one pocket, ID in another pocket, miscellaneous crap in another pocket. Like, I organize my pockets so I have an idea of what's in what, so that when I reach in, I know what's where. So it alarms me sometimes if I put my phone in the wrong pocket. I'll be like, where the hell is my phone? Oh, it's just in the wrong spot. Oops. That's a thing. Because one of the ways that I was also trying to cope was that exercise thing. I would go for walks. And so I went for a walk, and in my hurry to go for a walk as fast as possible, I put my ID in my pocket, crossed the road, and I think it might have fallen or flew out of my pocket in my social anxiety haste, because I did see a person existing near me, and that scared me, because that's a thing that happens. I don't want to talk to people. I hate talking to people, and I'm about to exercise. Why am I going to talk to people? So my solution for this problem is to run as fast as I fucking can away. So as I'm crossing 2 crosswalks to get out of here, I think it flew out of my pocket, went down the hill, and somehow someone found it near the butcher's place. By that point, my aunt had already scheduled an appointment with the DMV to get a new one. I canceled it, texted her, and said, we found it, it's all good, we're good now. And I'm like, oh, thank God. I don't have to go somewhere at dark 30 in the morning, in my opinion, and go and explain to them that I'm a fucking idiot. And also, here's 2 pieces of mail with my name on them. I don't know if they count because, oops. I don't exist to the universe, so having things with my name on it is not an option. So I can't really prove that I exist to the government, which is fan-fucking-tastic. We love that. Which is going to be fun when I have to go actually get a job, which is coming up probably next March/February. I don't know. Regardless, that's going to be fun. Trying to prove that I am a real person and I am who I say I am is always a good time for me. It's a good time for my dad too, because he's in the same boat. We don't exist. There's no mail really with our name on it that counts as actual mail and not just like spam. Like, dear bleh, or current resident type things. Like, that's not real mail. That's just spam. But I lost my ID and I got it back. B13 super goes under because November is when they ran out of money. The bosses ran out of money to survive, to run the company. Oops. They ran out of anything. Keeping the company on life support is now the goal at that point. So yes, it still exists. We're still around and we still have all our stuff, but it is severely on life support. And so are they, to stay alive. That is our situation. I got sick. So my driving lessons stopped in November because not gonna pass that along to the grandparents. My blood sugars went down significantly is a note that I've got, which is great. They've started going back up again recently, which is making me very upset inside because I have to test soon and it doesn't feel like it's good enough. And the doctor will not understand and be like, you need to like go on pills now to fix yourself now. Like fix yourself now. You're untreated. Fix yourself. So that's fun. Thanksgiving fiasco. Essentially, we showed up a little late, everything was chaos, and then people wouldn't leave my aunt alone about making the biscuits and just kept raging at her about it a little bit. So she didn't even get to sit down at the table and eat with the rest of us. She was left in the kitchen to cook. And by the time she got there, she was slowly piecing her way through the meal and was being stared at and was nearly crying multiple times because we treat people like garbage. And honestly, I felt really bad. I tried to help in any ways that I could, but there was no room, really. Oh yeah. Finally, another severe depressive episode happened, and I almost broke down at my former guild leader. Because after Sinnoh's end, I still consider the guild leader who I had at that time to be not the person that I'm talking to, but the person that I am talking to is more like a friend. And as I've been befriending them, I keep venting, and I started having an emotional breakdown at them, which is unfair, and I needed to stop that shit, because that is not cool. And they don't deserve that. So I'm not doing that. That was a thing that happened. Oh yeah, I also, broke my toe a bit by kicking a shoe really hard. Granted, Dad has these work sneakers type situation, and those sneakers are tough nuggets. He says they're not steel-toed, but those heels are real stiff, and I whacked it as hard as possible by spinning around and couldn't walk for a little bit. Toe was purple. It was a whole thing. It was a situation. Everything has been fixed now, but it still gives me health anxiety between that and all the illnesses and everything, which is great. Just constant health anxiety. But as usual, as I was raised, we don't go to the doctor because that's expensive and that's unfair. Don't do that. Don't go see doctors. Because that costs money, and you don't deserve to exist costing money. That's me talking to myself. If any of you out there have health concerns, like, go see a doctor. Because that's very important. to get that shit addressed when you think there's a problem. For me, I've been raised, don't get sick. We don't have insurance right now, or more specifically, you don't have insurance as a kid. You don't have insurance specifically, so don't get sick. Just don't get sick. That's a thing to tell a kid. In December, I've got driving lessons, and they are going splendidly. The instructor basically said on day one, "You're going to be easy, aren't you?" Because I have probably over 120 hours by now of driving. I have a scary amount of hours driving, and I'm real comfy with it. I'm real okay. I know there's stuff that I need to work on, mostly in the form of I'm too cautious and have crippling anxiety and need to calm the fuck down. So that's a thing. But he's like, I don't think you're panicky. You're just overly cautious, but it's better that than panicky. I don't really have any complaints. Like, even doing your parking, you did this weird, like, dog legging thing, but you're fine. Like, you're in the space. It's not bad. And even that wasn't, like, super jerky. You're fine. What the heck? Because he did, like, a little parking pretest. And even this past time, day after Christmas, I had a lesson with him. He's like, you're doing this great. You're basically perfect on the parking. What the heck? Yeah, he taught me the parking for the test and parallel parking, and I was perfect on those somehow. I'm really good at parallel parking, even though in this state I'm never going to use it. I should move to California. That'll be the answer. Just LA parallel parking. Yeah. No, that's a nightmare that I would never wish on anyone based on what I've heard. So, but we've gotten positive reviews. My mother's reviews are, you need more acceleration, drive with social anxiety. Care about what everyone around you thinks of your driving because you're not doing it right. According to the most impatient driver that I've got in my life. I'm not doing that. I won't. I refuse to drive like a socially anxious asshole with everybody else. I will drive carefully. Thank you. So we got sick. A bunch of people in the household got sick. We have no idea what it was. It was just cold symptoms over and over again. The roommate thinks she might have had the flu. But if this was the flu, it's not what Mom has told me it's like. Being as 3 of us in this household are asthmatic and 2 of us are smokers of the 4 of us, so we got a double whammy in one. It's nothing like what the flu was like. It was just a really bad cold. Whoop-de-doo. Illness took hold, though, for a week. I couldn't really do anything, so driving stopped for that time. And I managed to make it to Christmas, and no one's gotten infected, so I think I was better by then. So I was still a little not okay, but I was mostly okay. I wasn't dying with my instructor either the next day. So, yay. Not that ill, but still, could be better. Trust me, oh my god, the perk of me getting this illness, though, I had so much gender euphoria because my voice dropped. It sounded so much more masculine. It was down here and it wouldn't go higher, and it was great. My voice kept breaking if I tried to get it to go higher. It was so much lower. It sounded better. It sounded rougher, and it brought me joy. There was joy. You have no idea. No one has that much idea. Which is great, because in my midst, I have people who deny that I exist as a gender fluid entity. Is the best way I can think of to phrase that. consistently and constantly dead name me, which is great. So that's fun all the time. It's consistent. It's consistent. It's great. So as a result, I've been really kind of hating myself consistently over that, somewhere in the back of my mind. But so that voice drop just brought me so much fucking joy. Because I'm like, I need to get my voice to stay down here. I need to do that. Ooh, big yawn. Gets better. I need to do voice training to get it down here and get it to stay. So much better. Because I normally sound high-pitched and whiny, and I hate it so much. It does not feel right. My voice has never really sounded like mine. I still don't believe it's mine when I speak. This feels better. This sounds better to my head. I love this so much more. Reasons why being a voice actor would not be a terrible thing. On top of, I do have accents, but... Yeah, so now that we're in the slow part of the year, things are slowing down, breaks are happening. Thanks to illness, I just couldn't handle the daily amounts of chores, any of my writing, really. I was too kind of swimmy and delirious in the head to figure it out. So my 1 week off with illness was spent playing Mass Effect, which I'd love to play for the channel at some point, but we've got too much else going on and we feel like we're already pretty overwhelmed with everything we've got, so we're not gonna do that. We're gonna pace ourselves and slow down, because I'm sorry, but no. Just no. I'm not doing that to myself. So... yeah, we're going to complete things before we continue to add things, because God, no, I'm not doing that to myself. 5 videos a week is my limit, mentally, I think, even though it's a double upload on 2 days. No, wait, it's 4 videos a week of 5 games, 5 series. Someone else can do the math. I don't care. As again, not that committed, but committed enough. Essentially. Yeah, just took a nice long break, which was nice on my brain, but now I'm like, I need to get back into it, and I just want to go back to taking a break. I hate everything. I just want to not do stuff. In fact, I think whilst editing this video, I'm probably going to go do a buttload of nothing. I might go play more Mass Effect. Sounds like a good time. Anyway, that's a weird expression to have on my face for a prolonged amount of time. Okay. Oh yeah, I started getting back into my writing. So I quickly completed my editing assignments that needed to be done in order to make room for the writing, because fortunately, despite being a creative, I have the practical applications to do, blah, 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 blah. Editors. That's not targeted at any editors, by the way. Like, we love our editors, as I am also one of them. They are great, but sometimes my writers frustrate me from the editing standpoint. Which is why I try to be courteous and understanding, but also they need to understand you're going to piss me off no matter what, and that's not your fault, that's a me problem. I understand that's a me problem. I have a level of hubris and ego like every other writer out there, thinking that I'm right, but I also have the humility to understand that, yes, sometimes I am wrong, and just fucking wrong, and yes, I need to fix it. I wish I was right. I wish that this was okay, essentially. So that's a thing. And I'm stubborn enough that I will fight them to the death. Fisticuff style if necessary. But so essentially, I've been getting back into my writing, which means that we are writing The Immortal. We are writing The Immortal. That's what I'm working on first, and there are some pieces I've produced that I'm really, really happy about and very excited for you guys to see. Technically, you could preview it, what we're going to be publishing as a book, because we have a podcast produced by B13 that is the radio show version of the book that's going to come out. We decided to do book format because the podcast has not ever really done super duper well. And for all the effort and everything that's going into it, it's still not there, if that makes sense. It's not where it needs to be. And that's unfortunate. Just like that's unfortunate for me to bump the microphone. But you know what? We're going to attempt a different angle. And who knows? We'll see what happens with it. But I'm very excited. We've gotten into the writing phase of it. 2 of the people who are writing have not, because they are pretty bogged down with everything else going on. You know, the bullshit and garbage that has been this year. Which is fair. Very fair on their part. My Christmas wasn't so bad. I know it was only a few days ago, but it wasn't that bad. It really wasn't. It was actually one of the better ones that I've had. You know, people weren't digging at me about what I need to do with my future and their input and tell me how to live my life. People weren't super disappointed in me. We just sat there, watched a movie, talked casually. The only thing that really made me upset was we had a long discussion about diabetes and everything, because I'm still coming to terms with everything that I lose because of it and all of the things that are being put onto me because of it and everything that's happening because of it. And I'm not going for a pity party, but it still upsets me somewhere inside because I feel like I really wish this wasn't happening, essentially, and there's a lot of grief that goes with it. For me, I miss my ramen, man. But so, essentially, that was the most upsetting thing, though. Which is new, because most of the time what's upsetting is people telling me not only how to live my life, but what a fucking disappointment I am. So that's a thing. Good news, that didn't happen. And I got a fuzzy blankie, it's over there on my bed. It brings me joy. Like, I'm really excited about all the stuff that I got. Just to not sound ungrateful, because I really am. I tell people all the time that I want nothing. I don't want anything for Christmas at this point, because A, I don't deserve shit. I don't do anything to deserve anything. Honestly, I don't. I know that. I really don't deserve anything. Getting presents stresses me the hell out, because, and I'm just not a fan of stuff. Not anymore. Like, I'm pretty satisfied with everything that I've got in life. And I can't think of anything that I need or want. Because what is there to need and want? Something I thought I might do while this video, actually, my aunt had asked me about. She asked me, do you need more nail polish? Like, do you want nail polish? And I'm like, nah, I'm good. I got plenty. It's over there. I don't want to get into that, but it's a whole thing, and the nail polish situation, while it is not preferred, I can work with it. Doesn't hurt me. I'm okay. Cool. I was thinking of doing my nails while doing this video, actually, which is not a, if you can't tell, my outlook on life is a little better for some reason, despite the fact that this season in general makes me fucking miserable, mostly because of family. But once my family stuff is over, I'm usually like, everything is great again. I don't have to deal with anything. It's good. I don't have stress and mental load and things that make me very upset. But like, I'm really grateful for all the stuff that I got. I just really don't like getting stuff anymore. Like, I don't care. Like, cool, I got a funny hoodie that says silently judging you. Or the one thing that I'm really happy about is I got... That's gonna knock something over. Okay, cool. It didn't. The roommate got me a wallet. That makes me really happy, because that means now I have a place to put my ID on the side, aside from the back of my phone. So I don't have to worry about losing it again. And it chains to my belt, so I can't lose it. And I took out a chair with it the other night because I forgot I didn't put it in my pocket. I'm an idiot. And that's the summary of that. But yeah, no, like, I don't like getting stuff. I don't feel like I need more stuff. Like, if anything, I probably need less stuff, because this place is the things you cannot see below the camera, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Trust me, it is. I've been wanting to clean my room for a while now. And I need to do it. But I haven't. I need to do that. Trust me, the things you can't see, it's for the better. You know, I hate, not to sound like a Scrooge or a Grinch, but I don't like Christmas that much. Don't get me wrong, I'm not religious, so the concept of Christmas and every last bit of praise Jesus is lost on me. I'm more of a Yule person, but I don't like the concept of the Hallmark aspects of the holiday. You know, the giving stuff. I say that in the same disdain that people have for Valentine's Day. Because I also hate that holiday. It's kind of bullshit. Like, one day a year, we show we love each other. AKA, one day a year, I have to get my mother flowers and chocolates with my father to make sure that she understands that, yes, we do love you. Now stop it. Stop crying about it. We do love you. For the millionth time this year. Stop. It's bullshit. Christmas is a load of bullshit, in my opinion, too. Like, I don't really care for things. Like, it's like, cool, I got more stuff. I got a stuffed cat. And this bunny. Which, yes, while they bring me joy, it's like, ooh, yay. More things that I have to now sort out where the hell I'm going to hide them. So yeah. But the holiday itself wasn't that bad this year. Like, I didn't feel guilty about receiving money. I still feel guilty about receiving money. I did receive $20, and I feel really bad about that somewhere inside. But I didn't feel this, like, you're a disappointment, now take our stuff and feel bad about it type of thing. It didn't feel that bad. It was a better holiday than it's been in the past. Oh yeah. Yesterday and 2 days before that, I got chewed out by my mother with critiques. AKA, more of the micromanagement and more of her telling me you need to go faster. Granted, her car drives weird. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. Someone has told me, my aunt, when I asked her about it, she's like, your mom's car may be itching for a transmission failure and some brake failure. Because her brakes don't like to brake as gently as they should, I have to push on them super hard. I'm doing the motion under the camera to push the brakes, as if you can see it, but you're not going to see my feet today, internet. So no. No. Essentially, you have to push the pedal to the floor to get the brakes to brake. And the transmission was, even though I know I'm wobbly on the gas pedal, I can go anywhere from 10, I'm usually around 10 miles an hour over the speed limit to about 5 under is the limit I've gotten to. So I'm around 15 miles an hour around the speed limit. This time I was 30. It was 30. I could see it. Because 1 minute I'm going 40, the next I'm going 70 and feeling like I'm going too fast. Speed limit is 50. And people are fed up with me with the driving, essentially. And I kept getting speed up, slow down, 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 speed up, slow down. You're going too fast, watch out for drunks, but also go faster. Micromanaging my driving. And it wasn't as overbearing as that, but it was still like every few minutes there's a new critique and a long explanation as to why you suck, essentially. And I'm like, I cannot drive with you in the car. Because you've always got something to say that's you're doing bad. According to the way that she drives. I refuse to drive like that. And also, more reasons why we feel like there's transmission failure incoming with her car is because she just... When you drive it, it lurches. It lurches forward when shifting gears. Like, when I'm going too slow, it's 10 under, and I'm going way too slow, and it doesn't feel like that, and then suddenly it's... It's a great time. That car is really confusing. I do not like it. It does not drive fine. It does not drive slow. It does not drive nicely. It's not gentle. You have to be rough with it, and it's not good, and I don't want to do that. But that's how this year has been. So I'll probably see you intermediately with the entries. So we'll see you guys next year around this time and see how much has changed. I hope 2024 is better all around, as much as possible. There has to be an up from here. There has to be. Not only am I freaking out about potentially my physical issues returning even though I've only had relief for almost 2 months, but Mom being, well, Mom. She took me to Walmart for specific tasks and buying 2 things exactly, lights and replacement lights. There was an entertained thought of food, but we didn't get that. We sniffed lots of candles and wax melts, and Mom bought those when I wasn't really looking. The best part is that while we were talking, she overheard me speaking to the roommate about wanting candles for writing. I make candle spells out of them in a way, using the colors to help my mood or match them to a character to stay inspired and in their headspace. I've wanted some specific candles for that, bigger ones and maybe scented. I mentioned that I was thinking of asking for them for Christmas, and Mom overheard. She kept stepping closer to me until we were about a foot or less away from each other. I shrank internally away, uncomfortable with the distance and the fact that she kept asking me why I need candles because we have so many. Correction, she has a ton and doesn't mind me using them, scented or unscented, big or small, just use them. Not only are the spells personal to me, but I feel uncomfortable using up all of someone's resources. I used to go through multiple small candles in a week and felt I was being rude. Basically, no. I guess I'll just get whatever she wants to give me that she's planned out, whether I want it or not, and just move on. She can't respect my wishes anymore, not when I either say, get me nothing, or get me this one thing. When I was younger, it wasn't a surprise. What do you want? And you get exactly that. No more, no less. Now it's nerve-wracking and hurtful. I hate to tell them I don't want this thing because I don't want to come across as a brat, but I don't like pretending to be grateful when I'm not because I'd love to be genuine. She then idled in the lights, and people got uncomfortable, and I got the impression we were being a nuisance, but didn't have the heart to say anything. As we left, she grabbed some leggings and paid for all of the things she got. The roommate, still with us, made comments about how I may be emo and boring, but I should just let Mom have fun. Mom told me not to let her have fun. She told me to rein her in, like I've had to do for years, to keep her under control financially. I constantly hear about how we have no money, and hardly when we do I hear that. She'll blame me. Now it'll be my fault that we have no money. Again. You're being a burden to others. The former guild leader didn't ask you to dump your life shit on him. Just play the game and stop worrying about people. You're being a burden to others. The former guild leader didn't ask for you to dump your life shit on him. Just play the game and stop worrying people. Already thinking about what freedom could be, or at least what I'd need to get to live and function. Step 1, pay bills and mom. Step 2, pay people back. Step 3, buy things to make life easier. Containers so I can meal prep myself, new charger cables, clothes, good food, stationery so I can manually keep a log of my money. I'll forget if it's digital. Step 4, save up to leave. Don't buy for pleasure ever. Ain't worth it. It sounds sad, but hopefully it'll work. I was going to send this to my former guild leader as a message about how I don't like Christmas because he asked, and I chose not to say this. I mean, it's not as bad as it's been before. The worst times we had guests over, and she has me scrubbing the house from top to bottom the whole week before, only to do it all again the day of, hours before they show up. I'm usually getting in the shower as people arrive, or Dad is. And then I have to help with cooking, too, afterwards. And I tell them the same thing every year. Don't get me anything. But as Mom points out, I'm not allowed to say that. I have to want something, even though I've done nothing to deserve anything in years and feel pretty content with what I have. I really hate Christmas. I have to be grateful getting money that I don't deserve, getting things I didn't ask for, and then being largely ignored or reminded just how worthless and foolish I've been. I'm grateful to see my grandparents. I'm happy to see people. But it quickly burns out as everyone reminds me that my life means nothing and I'm a waste of space, and why I didn't do this, that, and the other, and if I'm so smart, why am I not doing what they want, and why am I such a piece of shit? So I go driving with Stacy, and there's no problem. None. I go driving with Mom. Micromanaging, blame game, and distracted impulse buying I have to tame. I hate everything. I could chew my arm off right now, I'm so angry. But I don't get to be angry. I can't be angry. I gave her the keys. I got tired of hearing her critiques because she drives like a socially anxious asshole. She didn't want to drive. And she complained about my seat distance because it's gonna kill me. Then I don't have to hear about her critiques anymore. I'm currently pacing the local Safeway with her, looking for bad things we can't have. What the fuck? I swear I need to just flip into a ditch the next chance I get. TLDR, driving me insane as usual. I'm the mom. Micromanaging my driving, so I gave her the key and said fuck it. Buying things we don't need and shouldn't have, Safeway rules, which is why I gave her the keys, because I'm not making that choice and enabling. I have to control her impulse buying because she keeps investigating things and saying she wants to buy it and we don't need it, yet complained that I grabbed some dressing that's $2 more. Hypocrite. And speculating about the local Wise pharmacy and telling me how Damascus is better because she knows the pharmacist and could get me vaxxed today. He didn't want to do that because it means opening a bottle special for you, and his tech already left and he just didn't want to do it. Nothing to do with walk-in times they set up.